YouTube? Welcome back to Chat 49, and the most surprising thing happened. The 49ers won this week against the Atlanta Falcons with Blaine Gabbert starting. I mean, it is as surprising as it could get. So let me get right into talking about Blaine Gabbert. So today he completed 15 of 25, threw for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And if you guys remember from the last episode, I predicted him to throw for 187 yards, so I was only off by 2 yards. I mean, that's pretty close. I expected him to throw a touchdown and 2 to 3 interceptions. He ended up throwing for 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So overall, I was pretty close with my predictions. But in the end, I expected the San Francisco 49ers to lose. So, that was a huge surprise, honestly. I told you guys Blaine threw 2 interceptions, but the first one definitely should have been caught by Jerome Simpson. I mean, it was right to him, but he bobbled the ball, and the Falcons defense made a play on it. The stats don't always tell you everything about the game, so let me talk a little bit about the 49er offense and how they look today. Starting with the O-line, the 49ers offense looked significantly better today. They were decent. I mean, I wouldn't say perfect, but they did just enough to win the game. They certainly looked a lot more respectable than the way they've been looking in the past few games. For whatever reason, the O-line looked better. More protection today. Maybe they wanted to protect Blaine Gabbert more than Colin Kaepernick. I don't really know. But that is very realistic situation, unfortunately. And Colin Kaepernick actually came into the game for 1 snap, or 2 snaps actually, and he threw the ball one time right to Vance McDonald. He dropped the ball. I mean, it almost looked like he purposely dropped the ball. I mean, that's how bad it is, the chemistry between Colin Kaepernick and the rest of the team, It was unfortunate because it was a good pass, and maybe Colin Kaepernick could have felt a little bit better going back to the bench, but it really shows the relationship between Colin Kaepernick and the receivers. Now going back to Blaine Gabbert, he actually ran the ball a couple of times for over 10 yards or 10 yards. He is a relatively mobile quarterback. Obviously, he's not a Colin Kaepernick or RG3 or Russell Wilson, but his speed is there. He's not the slowest quarterback by all means, so he made plays with his feet as well. Now, what's the biggest takeaway from this game? Honestly, I don't know if I can take away anything from this game because, first of all, the Falcons are struggling as a team. Their defense is sluggish. They're not respectable. They're below average, especially against passing. And we also have to keep in mind that the Falcons didn't have too many films on Blaine Gabbert to work with. Obviously, he's been a bench player for the past 2 seasons. And if you're a bench player, you don't have too many films about you. Obviously, you can go back to 2012 and 2013 and look at Blaine Gabbert then. But he's changed as a quarterback. He's in a new system now. He's older now, so the Falcons didn't really have too much to work with. They didn't have a specific game plan for Blaine Gabbert, so we have to see how he does the next time he goes out there, because obviously the next time he goes out there, the other teams will have the opportunity to study what he can do and what he can't do on the field, because now they have something to at least work with. Remember in week 1, Carlos Hyde rushed for over 160 yards, and he's been struggling ever since because now teams are looking at him, watching his film, studying, making game plans to stop him, and that's what happens when there are films out there. So for all those reasons, it's very hard to assess Blaine Gabbert in the 49er offense based off of this one particular game, so we have to see how the 49ers play in the upcoming weeks. But Blaine Gabbert did look okay. I mean, he didn't look fantastic, but he was okay, and obviously he got the win, so, he did just enough to win the game today. So does this mean it's the end of the Kaepernick era for the 49ers? I can't give you a definite answer because this is the NFL we're talking about, and things could change almost immediately. But that being said, the better the Gabbert plays, the higher the possibility of Colin Kaepernick not being the quarterback for the 49ers, not just this season, but in the years to come. Do I expect Colin Kaepernick to get his starting job back this season? I don't think so. I mean, if Blaine Gabbert continues to play the way he did today and do just enough to win the game, I think the 49ers will most certainly stick to Blaine Gabbert. And it almost seems like the 49er players want him, in that starting job as well. And most importantly, the 49ers don't want to risk Colin Kaepernick getting hurt, because obviously if he gets hurt, his 2016 salary becomes guaranteed. Now, these are just speculations that I'm making, so, it might not be true, it might be true, who knows, but we really have to see what happens, especially during the bye week, and we have to see what Jim Tomsula has to say during his pressers. Perfect timing, Jim Tomsula just had his post-game press conference, and he pretty much said he's not making any commitment in terms of the quarterback position. So Colin Kaepernick could start against Seattle, but at the same time, Blaine Gabbert could also be the starter again for the 49ers against Seattle. But the unfortunate situation is, regardless of the quarterback, I'm pretty sure the 49ers are going to get killed against the Seahawks. Now let's talk about how the defense played today. I was very impressed by the fact that the 49er defense stopped Devontae Freeman to just 12 yards on 12 carries, averaging 1 yard per carry. I mean, we're talking about Devontae Freeman, arguably one of the best running backs this season. 709 yards, 4.66 yards per carry, and 9 touchdowns coming into the game. And we stopped him to 12 yards. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That being said, Matt Ryan did throw for 300 yards for 1 touchdown. And we have to be able to put a lot more pressure on the quarterback, making sure they don't throw for over 300 yards week after week after week. Overall, a very surprising win for the 49ers today. I really didn't see it coming, but I'm not really sure if I should be happy or upset about this. And I only say because they're 3-6 right now, and I'm pretty sure they're out of the playoff picture. So I'd rather see them lose and get that first overall pick in the draft, find somebody and rebuild a team around that person. So we have a long-term success instead of a short-term success that doesn't mean anything. But that's just a thought that I came across, during today's game when I was following it. Doesn't necessarily mean I want the 49ers to lose, but it is an interesting theory that, some people really think about. That's all I have to say for today. I'm sure I'll have a lot more to say sometime during the week. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.